Good morning. I'm here at Ghost of Thorns Animal Sanctuary in Arizona. We have Willow here eating a few little crumbs that slipped under the trough because we have a lot of messy eaters. We don't ever have to really worry about that though because we have such a dedicated cleanup crew, as you can imagine. So this morning is just a slightly different Sunday. Our regular Sunday morning volunteers are out of town, so we've got a couple other volunteers subbing in. So we also decided to have a little bit later of a start this morning, sleep in just a touch, if you will, if you've tuned in before. Hi, Miss Tickler. You'll know that oftentimes when we're getting started, it's usually still dark outside. We are early risers and we get started really early, um, mostly because the people that come on Sunday mornings are just early risers, but also because our regular volunteer that you guys usually see, Elliot, or his wife Courtney, they also have a little baby at home, and so they need to get here and get done early so that they can get back to baby, get her from grandma's or things like that. So this morning, like I said, we came instead of 5:30 or 6 in the morning. We didn't get here till 6:45, which was fine because we actually had our volunteer potluck and Christmas, like white elephant last night. So we're all a little tired. These guys were a little bit hungry though, since they did get a later start with us. They were kind of all gathered at the front gate over there, just like, what is going on? Sunday mornings, we usually eat so early. All of us volunteers do things, slightly differently or get started at a little bit different times, but it was clear that they are very used to having everything done super early on Sunday because everybody was ready to go. So we'll do our little check-in like we do on Sundays. I'm not sure if you can tell, it's quite dusty. We are in the desert, but also we have the lovely Talia here raking up and tidying everything up for everybody so it kicks up some dust. Last week we were showing you Aelia, the turkey that was having such a hard time. We had her locked in a pen with blankets and a heat lamp and things like that. But she wound up escaping. Thank you. She wound up escaping a few days after just being locked in there a few days. The reason she was locked up, in case you missed it, is she was going through a really bad molt. So, a lot of birds will lose part or, even a lot of their feathers, usually it's like a lot earlier in the season. And then they grow back their like thicker, warmer feathers for winter. However, here it is just recently started getting cold, and Azalea had been sitting on a clutch of eggs out front, which is another strange thing because usually the turkeys don't lay this late. They usually only lay in the spring and early summer. I'm kind of trying to look around, see if oh, there she is. There's Azalea. So just like last week, I'm not going to get too close because she is skittish. And if you can see, she is kind of pecking at the ground and eating. I couldn't get super close last week, even though she was in the pen, because she was just really stressed and anxious and just pacing back and forth. And I wanted her to make sure she would stay in front of the heat lamp. But if you did happen to zoom in or catch a good glimpse last week, her neck was pretty much completely bald. I mean, she looked like a plucked chicken or a plucked turkey. It was very sad. She was just so cold. Like I said, we are in the desert here, but it has just recently started getting cold overnight, even the upper 30s a couple of nights. So not the ideal time for a bird to be losing all of their feathers. Well, hi, cutie. Hello, love. But yeah, so we were pretty worried that she got out of her pen. Oh, I don't have anything. She's like, that hand is empty. I don't want that hand. That hand is empty. Do I need to get you some treats? I think that's what she's saying. Um, like I said, we were kind of worried and wanting her to get put back into the stall or the coop. That way she had, unrestricted access to food and supplements, because if we sprinkle out some worms or cat food or, different supplements for her out here, all the other birds are just going to eat it. Like you, Lady A. Yeah, and Lady A, this pretty innocent looking girl right here, she was also bullying Azalea. So not only was Azalea struggling because she had been sitting on a nest for far too long, and when birds sit on nests, they often rarely leave to eat or drink. So they often, lose some weight and get a little skinny at that point. So not only that, but then she was losing all her feathers. And then these other girls were bullying her. So she was so skittish that even when the chickens would just walk up, she would, run away and she wouldn't eat. And, so that was another reason we wanted her in that stall as well as to be, next near a heat lamp. Hi, Pretzel. Hi, pretty girl. This Pretzel, we call her the wild chicken. She does not go into a coop at night. She roosts super high, way up in that pine tree. I mean, you can't even believe how high she can get. But she does it, and she's like, "Nope, you cannot try to catch me and lock me in a coop. I'm gonna rest up here." But so as I was saying, we were pretty worried, and they were hoping that they could kind of get her back into the coop. But when we originally locked her in last weekend, it took 5 of us. She's not a super cuddly bird, and she also is very shy and timid. And like I said, she was kind of almost having like some the trauma from being bullied from all the other turkeys, and so it took all like 5 of us to get her to go in. And there were the morning that she escaped, there were only 2 volunteers, and so they weren't able to get her locked up. But this morning when I saw her, oh, here she comes, I get a good glimpse. She is looking like those feathers are really starting to come in. Like you can see it's a little patchy on her neck, but there are feathers there. Like I said, just last weekend, I mean, she looked like plucked. And so we're really happy and really relieved to see that this morning. Also, just like Miss Wild Chicken Pretzel here, the turkeys also roost up high in the pine trees or even sometimes on the roof of the coops or on the fence. And Azalea was up on top of one of the coops. All the other turkeys besides Zoe and her had already jumped down. So I used that opportunity to put a bunch of, dried corn and dried worms and bird feed and things like that up on top of the roof so that she would have access to that. Because, like I said before, if I were to just say, "Oh, here," and if I were to just try to sprinkle some down for her right now, all the other birds would just rush over and eat it. She would run away scared, and she is too shy to just approach me. Like if I were to do, say hold a bowl and just, if she was brave enough and I could just hold a bowl here, then she could come up. And if other birds came, I could kind of, push them away with my other hand. But she is more shy. Like I said, though, all in all, very good news. We're very happy to see all those feathers starting to come back in. Hopefully, it's pretty difficult to tell some of the turkeys apart because they look so similar. Right now, it's just a stark contrast that we can see Azalea is so much smaller, skinnier, and balder than the other turkeys. But we're hopeful that within she keeps progressing at this rate. In a few more weeks or maybe a month or a little more, we'll be kind of squinting again, like, wait, is that Azalea? Which one are you? Because hopefully we're hoping that her feathers all grow in, she puts that weight back on, and she'll be indistinguishable, other than from Zoe, who is all white, or Mr. Fernando here, who is a male and obviously looks different. Let's go and say hi to everybody else, and then we'll jump off. Like usually our Sunday morning live streams are just kind of like a little check-in or maybe an interesting story or fact about some of the animals, whereas our live stream during the week, you'll have to tune in. It's usually on a Tuesday or Thursday. Hi, handsome. But those are done by Karen, and she sometimes does some really like fun ideas. If you've tuned in before, you'll have seen some of her little fun things, or sometimes she'll get the camera set up so you have a live view of everybody eating, all kinds of stuff. Hello, Mr. Chico. You got Juicy. Oh, good morning. Good morning again, I should say. Hello. Look at that little snout. Just perfect. This sassy Rapunzel here. She's like, who, me? You ready for your close-up? Hi, Pansy. Oh, tried to get Princess out a little bit ago, but and she found a few crumbs of hay, so she didn't want to leave quite yet. Princess Buttercup goes into this stall in the morning with Bruno Mars and Clyde so that she doesn't have to compete with all the other goats for hay, because she is a little bit older and she's really shy and timid, and some of the other goats kind of will take advantage of that and just push her away, and then she'll just stand off to the side looking at the hay hungrily, and we don't want that to happen. So let's see, did you get your food? Oh, yep. Elvis got his food put back. Got some sheepy boys, like I said, cleaning up crumbs. We never have to worry too much. The crumbs always get taken care of. Hi, Thomas. Julio doing some munching. Oh, he's a little shy, so I don't want him to think I'm chasing him. I'm just walking around you so I can say hi to Nala. Beautiful Nala girl. I need to go get the brushes for you, huh? Gotta brush you out. Yeah, Miss Norma Jean. Yeah, other than that, no news is good news. Everybody else has been, doing well. And like I said, we're just so happy to see Azealia doing better. But thank you guys for your thoughts and prayers for her and for tuning in. If you'd like to follow more of our journey here, if you're not already, check out our Instagram and our Facebook and our Patreon page. All those links are just in the description box below, so you can kind of learn some more about these guys and gals here, or even if any of their stories are really touching to you, you could always sign up on our Patreon, for as little as just donating $3 per month. If enough people do that, that would be enough donations to pay for everybody's hay and medications and repairs, and in the summertime shearing for this big guy, all the things. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day.